next guest is a Peabody Award-winning actress, writer, comedian, and renowned cabaret performer who stars in the series Somebody Somewhere. The third and final season airs Sunday nights on HBO and Max. Let's take a look.
Oh my God, you're not supposed to be here for another 45 minutes.
Okay, well, we gotta go because they only have gold wristbands for the first 300 people.
I don't even know what that means.
It means hurry up, let's go.
Give me 5 minutes.
No, gotta go now.
Do you want to come in and use the bathroom?
No, I'm good.
Trisha, you're never gonna make it to Kansas City after that.
I'm good, just go, hurry up.
I'm hurrying.
Please welcome back to the show our friend Bridget Everett, everybody. Welcome back, Bridget.
Let me just, are all my parts tucked in?
I think
Okay,
they
good.
are. I think they are. Well done. Woo! Congratulations on this very beautiful show. This is about family, friendship. It's about going home. It's about grief. It's like very personal, and I'm just wondering like how it feels to bring it to a close.
Well, I'm sad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm so thrilled that I got to do something that feels meaningful and that won a Peabody Award.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we slip that in there.
Yeah. And they don't take it away.
They don't take it away. It's there for life. It's right there next to my dead dog's ashes. It's there forever.
That's what your dog would have wanted.
That's what she wanted. It was in her last will and testament. No, I'm so happy that we got to do it. I'm really proud of it. And if you're not watching, I hope that you'll tune in.
It is. I heard you say a very beautiful thing about in an interview about how sometimes our friends are our family, right?
Yeah.
And like that sometimes family doesn't come through for us in the same way the friends do.
Yeah.
And this show represents that so well. And, you know, we had a very dear friend that we shared named Eric Gilliland who passed away very sadly earlier this year. And I saw you on stage. You performed at his memorial. And it was just so wonderful because it was all these people, you know, some I knew, some I didn't, but they were all connected by this one man who had just been so special to everyone. And it was very cool to see you on stage for him.
He's a perfect example of like, when you make friendship central to your life and not everybody wants to make a romantic relationship the central focus of their life, which is kind of what the show is about. But Eric was so special and had so many friends. It was a room full of like comedic writers and you know, the service was, can I talk about this?
Yeah.
Is this horrible?
No.
Anyway, it was, the service was like 2.5 hours long and there was no food, an open bar, and martinis the size of wading pool.
Yeah.
And so.
Crazy martinis. You're
Crazy
right, yeah.
martinis, and I like martinis, and I liked a couple before I went up there, and we went on last, as you know, and you know, there are a lot of comedy writers from, you know, actors, people of note. These Mark McAdams kids came up and sang
Rainbow Connection,
and everybody was crying, and then Deadpool gets up and Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, from stage and film and TV, wherever else he's doing. And he's up there for like 15 minutes and made everybody cry.
Beautiful speech.
Beautiful speech. You know, hit the comic notes, the tenderness. Everything. You know, and then my friend Dan and I from the Dan Band came up, and we were overserved at that point. And they left it to us to close out the night. And when I tell you that we are living in a dark veil of shame because we feel like we tanked the whole night.
No.
You said it was okay.
It was great. And you know what and this is what I genuinely, you have to look at me and you have to believe this when I say this. The whole time I was watching you, I was being like, oh my God, this would be Eric's favorite part. Well, and you know that's true.
Well, according to the notes that we got after, thank you, I appreciate that. But apparently, we were about 14 minutes in, and I said ahead of time to Dan, we should really work out a script. And he's like, we don't need a script, we'll just wing it. And we did wing it. And until Ryan Reynolds shouts across the room to Dan's wife, who's Kathy Najimy from Sister Act, and says, you got to get up there and help them. So she came down the aisle, and she's like, get to the song. But anyway, I think that our friend Eric would have loved it very much.
I think he would have loved it very much. It was very funny because it was 2 hours and 15 minutes in, and you guys got on stage. It was a little bit like that clip. That was the vibe of everything you guys were doing up there.
But sometimes you don't want to go where you don't want to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was very comfortable there. It was dark, and I was alone with my feelings, and the drinks were already in my stomach, and, you know, we just let it rip.
It was very special. It was very memorable. I will never forget it.
And he loved you very much.
He loved you very much, and I enjoyed talking to him about you. This show is also based in your hometown, and this is a hometown that your dad was actually the mayor of this small town.
Correct.
Wow.
I heard that you and Brian Williams talking about politics. That
Yeah.
did not come up. But my dad and my brother were both the mayor of my hometown, Manhattan, Kansas.
Really? So Manhattan, Kansas.
Yeah.
Obviously, there was a gap between when your dad did it and your brother did it.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a gap.
Yeah.
And then my brother was the mayor, and also he's also a fan of my show Somebody Somewhere, just to bring it back around.
Yeah.
And I'm not his favorite character, and I'd just like to say that on national TV.
Wait, your brother, you are not his favorite character?
I'm not his favorite character. Not only that, he watches the show live, which nobody does, right? And you know, people don't do that anymore. He watches it and he texts me after, and he's like, "I'm really loving this relationship with Brad and Joel." And then he's texting me down the thread a little bit, and your acting's improving.
That's very nice.
I'm having a hot flash. It's okay. It happens to people our age.
That's great.
I'm talking about my feelings and friends.
Yeah, go for it. Cool it down.
Wait, okay. Oh, speaking of grief.
Wait, I have another question about going back home, because obviously Manhattan, Kansas is proud of you.
Yeah.
And there was a Bridget Everett
Everybody
Day.
except my brother.
Yeah, well. He's proud of you for improving.
Yes, you know.
What happened on Bridget Everett Day?
What happened at Bridget Everett Day? So my hometown did a thing. The city council with like the certificate and
Yep.
everything. Varsity Donuts made me a rum chata flavored donut because I like that rum chata. That's not a plug. That's just me just telling you what I like. And then they also did the Manhattan Brewing Company made me a beer.
Wow.
So it was pretty cool. There was a step and repeat. We were there in City Park, and I don't know. You know, it's kind of cool.
Well, very nice.
Not the mayor, but you know,
Yeah,
Bridget Everett Day.
well deserved. Is that what your brother said? Like, not the mayor, but pretty cool.
We don't talk about it.
That's good. You also, you've had a long and storied cabaret career here in New York City.
Yeah, that's probably why you guys are all here, right?
Yeah. Well, you just sold out the Beacon here in New York, so there's a fan base for you.
I did, and actually I have a show. I shouldn't say this, but I have a show going on. Some shows at Joe's Pub that are going to go on sale tomorrow at noon.
Oh, that's great. You can say that.
We've crashed the website, so if you want them, get them at noon. Okay, that's all.
All
I'm
right,
saying.
that's great. That's really exciting. I did not realize Ad Rock from the Beastie Boys,
Yeah.
of whom I am also a giant fan, was in your backing band for
Yeah.
a while. So that's Ad Rock right there.
Yeah.
How did he end up backing you up?
Well, he wanted to be in my band, and what am I going to do? Tell him no? I was like, sure.
So he approached you and said, "I, Ad Rock, want to be in your band."
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah. Cabaret is that cool. People. You know, like they were being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and what's the next logical step?
Yeah.
You know, you join a regionally recognized cabaret singer on the stage downtown New York.
But again, I would imagine being in downtown New York right now, you are known for your cabaret work. It must be so
Yes.
thrilling to walk out on stage. I would imagine there's no one who's in the crowd trying to decide whether or not this is what they like. Like, I would imagine everybody knows what they're getting and is so excited to see it.
Yeah.
Great.
I mean, you know, look, people talk about cabaret. No, nobody talks about cabaret. But I'm doing it, and I'm doing my best to represent it. You know,
good.
just cut this out in post.
Can I ask, one of the things I
Ask me
love
anything,
about
so.
the show is there's a lot of acronyms on the show. What was it? Growing Against All Odds?
Growth Against All Odds. I
Growth.
actually have the necklace on right now. You can see it above the hot flash on my chest, but it's a necklace. Yeah. So basically, in the show, Sam, who I play, is a woman who sort of has trouble with change, which I can't relate to at all. But she kind of grows inch by inch, and in this season, she's really pushing through a lot of self-doubt and self-worth things to make herself grow. And I don't know. I think it's kind of beautiful.
What are some of the, do you have any other favorite acronyms from the show that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah. All I can think of right now is TT Papa, which is going TT and Papa.
What is the one you say when you have an impressive papa, or like?
Oh, that's an AGG, all glory to God. And I'm not a religious woman, but you know when like the ocean parts that kind of morning, you know, when the upper deck is just like that's an AGG, and I think it's pretty wonderful. It might make me walk with Jesus.
It's that impressive.
It's that impressive. I mean, I know you don't poop, but if you did,
yeah. I mean, one day I'm looking forward to. I've heard great things. It is a delight to have you here. Congratulations on your show.
From Peabodys to poops. What else?
That's all we have. Like I said, they cannot take it away from you. You get that Peabody no matter what you say here. What a pleasure, Bridget. Thanks so much for being here. You guys, Bridget Everett, Somebody Somewhere, or Sunday nights on HBO Max. We'll be right back.